I'm Bill Howald, President and CEO of Rye Patch Gold Corp. I'm here in our headquarters in Vancouver, BC, Canada. I'd like to give you a little update on the company. It's January 2012, and I'd like to tell you about what we're doing on our Nevada projects. As you know, Rye Patch is trying to put together two trend scale opportunities. Our first trend scale is along the Oriana trend in west central Nevada. That's where we have the bulk of our resources with 3 million ounces of gold and 40 million ounces of silver, all 43-101 compliant. As you may have heard recently, we acquired through staking some locatable ground called the LH claims, which cover a portion of the Rochester silver mine and Packard silver mine. There we believe we've acquired, as Coeur d'Alene has said, up to 20% of the proven and probable gold and silver reserve and a significant portion of the measured and indicated resource. In addition to that, our other trend scale opportunity is along the Cortez trend, where we have two projects that cover 65 square kilometers immediately south and adjacent to Barrick Gold's new discoveries at Gold Rush and Red Hill. The company operates totally within the state of Nevada. As you probably know, Nevada is the 5th largest gold region in the world, and all the major mining companies, including Newmont, Barrick, and others, are actively exploring and developing gold and silver assets within the state. Our goal is to get over 5 million ounces of gold and gold equivalent within the coffers of the company's inventory. We're pretty good at finding. Companies like Newmont, Barrick, and others are very good at mining, and that's what we think the hand-in-glove fit is for us to deliver ounces to those majors and mid-tiers already operating and mining in the state. Let's take a look at some of our Oriana trend operations. The Oriana trend is, as I mentioned, in west central Nevada. The properties that we have, there are 5 projects that constitute our Oriana trend, and as you'll see, we're really building a district with those 5 projects basically touching each other. Since April of 2009, the trend has delivered 10 million ounces of new gold and silver between Rye Patch Gold and Barrick Gold's projects. It's really an emerging gold-silver trend. We believe the upside potential along the trend is upwards of 30 million ounces. And what we're seeing to date in all the deposits that have been discovered is they are near surface, oxide, and in mineable geometries. We've got our 5 projects along the trend, which are Wilco, Gold Ridge, Lincoln Hill, Rochester, and our South Cole Canyon property. So that really makes up the trend, and as I mentioned, it's a pretty compact area, spans about 10 kilometers in the long direction. Most recently, you've heard, we acquired the LH claims, which cover a portion of the Rochester and Nevada Packard silver mines. We staked 402 claims that cover roughly 30.3 square kilometers. Those claims cover the Rochester, Nevada Packard deposits, and as Coeur d'Alene has said in their December 5th press release, have acquired 20% of their proven and probable reserve and a substantial portion of their measured and indicated resource. Since we've acquired the claims, we've been diligently working, and since January, we identified 5 discovery areas on the property. Those discovery areas are Northwest Rochester, Limerick Basin, Mystic, Independence Hill, and the Black Ridge Fault Zone. Currently, we're drilling in the Northwest Rochester and the Mystic areas. Those drill rigs started within the last week on the property. One of the interesting things of our targets, we've collected over 450 samples on the LH claims, and the average grades of our silver values are 1.5 times greater than the average grade that's being mined in the Rochester pit. In addition, the gold grades are fairly similar to what's being mined in the Rochester pit. So we already know we have some very significant ore zones that we're following up with drilling. As I mentioned, according to Coeur d'Alene's December 5th, 2011 press release, they claim that Rye Patch has acquired up to 20% of the proven and probable reserve and a significant portion of the M&I resource. In the slide that you see next, you can see the ultimate pit of their Stage 8 plan, and those areas in red show the areas of overlap onto our claim block. The purple areas are the ore zones that they're actually mining, and you can see that we have at least 20% of those purple units coming onto our property. In addition, most of the resource sits to the north and to the west of the pit. And as you can see from this exhibit, all of that resource sits within the LH claims. To the left side of that slide, you can see a photograph that was taken showing the northern part of the pit. And you can see the blast hole rigs, dump trucks, and loaders. Those dump trucks and loaders and that blast hole pattern is actually on our LH claims. So Coeur d'Alene is actually mining on the LH claim ground. The Cortez trend, again, this is our second district. And here we have 65 square kilometers that are immediately adjacent to and along trend of Barrick Gold's new Gold Rush and Red Hill discoveries. The two properties that we have are called Garden Gate Pass and the Paddy property. Garden Gate Pass is 100% owned by Rye Patch Gold, and at Paddy we're earning into a 60% joint venture with our partners being Barrick Gold and US Gold. At the Garden Gate Pass property, last fall we had a drill program following up on some geophysical anomalies that we had identified in gravity and magnetic surveys. Those drill holes were quite successful in identifying lower plate rocks, which are the host rocks to those Carlin-type deposits nearby. Carlin-type alteration, where we hit 60 meters of significant alteration that were the earmarks of a Carlin system, and then geochem gold and some geochem elements that tell us that we're near to a Carlin system. Based on those 6 holes that were completed into the Garden Gate Pass property, we're now able to refine our geophysical models, i.e. we can make those gravity and magnetic models better. And we're planning a new drill program to come out and attack what we think will be the next discovery along the Cortez trend this spring. So drilling on Garden Gate Pass will start in April of this year, and then we'll follow south towards the Paddy property where we plan to drill in May or June. There at Paddy, that was a property that I actually picked up for Placer Dome back in early 2000. It became part of the Barrick set of projects with the acquisition of Placer Dome by Barrick. One of the last holes that Placer Dome drilled on the Paddy property was contained 102 meters grading 0.32 grams per ton. At the time we drilled that hole, we had some ideas of what the gold controls were. Now, with the discovery of Gold Rush and Red Hill, we believe we have a better idea, and so we'll be drilling there and following up those thick zones of geochem gold, and again, hoping to make a discovery. The next slide shows our drilling at Garden Gate Pass. You can see Barrick's drill area, which is about 3 kilometers to the north of our drill rig there. It's quite an interesting photo in that there are no outcrops on the Garden Gate Pass property. It's completely covered by alluvium, so we have to rely heavily on geophysics to do our targeting. Just to look at the deliverables for 2012, along the Oriana trend, as I mentioned, we're already drilling, and we hope to have results of that drill program out in March. At Wilco, we're updating our 43101 resource, and we should have a new resource estimate out by the end of the first quarter of 2012. Similarly, at Lincoln Hill, again another resource update that will be out at the second quarter of this year. And at Gold Ridge, we finished a drill program at the end of December, and those results will be out shortly. Along the Cortez trend, again, as I mentioned, we're refining our drill targets on the Garden Gate Pass property, and we'll start drilling there in April. And again, Paddy, we'll start drilling there in May and June. So we hope to make another discovery along the Cortez trend this spring. Our budget is $5 million, and that's really work in the ground. And the way it kind of plays out is $3 million along the Oriana trend and $2 million along the Cortez trend. Just to have a look at the company's market or capitalization, we've got significant institutional investment in the company. Almost 50% of the company is held institutionally, with our largest institutional investor being the Sun Valley Master Fund. We also have Kinross Gold involved, and as you can see, fully diluted, we're at around 144 million shares. We recently had all of our warrants exercised, and we have over $7 million in the bank. So we're well funded for the program that we have envisioned, and we have additional cash to go forward. I hope you'll take a look at Rye Patch Gold. We can get on your radar screen, and you'll see all the work that we're doing. As I mentioned, we have 2 trend scale opportunities, and I like to say that we're just not a one-trick pony. So with that, thank you very much for your time.